I developed a weird feeling recently. Everywhere you look, you don't really see casualness anymore. You see optimization. Whenever I start a new game, I immediately get guides recommended. Best settings, best strategy, best build, best weapons, best way to level up. And it's not even something I actively search for. It just appears. And somehow, it doesn't stop at games. Outside of that, it feels like everything has become competitive in some way. Going to the gym, learning a skill, studying anything really. Even hobbies that are supposed to be relaxing slowly turn into self-improvement projects. So I started wondering, when did everything become ranked mode? And more importantly, why can't we just do things anymore? Just to do the thing. I think one of the biggest reasons for this feeling is the internet. A few years ago, when you played a game, you mostly just experimented. You tried things, you failed, you learned naturally. Now within hours of a game releasing, there are already tier lists, optimized builds, XP methods, speedrun routes, guides for literally everything. And the weird thing is, using them almost feels mandatory. Because once you know a more efficient way exists, it becomes hard to ignore it. You stop exploring, you stop experimenting, you stop being curious, you just follow the meta. And I don't think this stays inside gaming. It leaks into real life. Now there's a best way to study, sleep, work, build habits, wake up, eat, learn, invest, network, travel. Everything. Literally everything becomes optimized. And optimization itself isn't bad. A lot of this information is genuinely useful. But I think constantly thinking in terms of optimization changes how you experience things. You stop asking, do I enjoy this? And instead ask, am I doing this correctly? Am I doing this the best way possible for me to earn the best results? I also think social media made this much stronger, because now everything is visible. People post their progress, their routines, their achievements, their income, their physique, their productivity, their travels and their setups. And even, logically that people only show highlights, only show the best version, your brain still compares them constantly to yourself. And after a while, it becomes difficult to just exist inside a hobby without turning it into some kind of performance. You start learning a language and suddenly you compare yourself to people who have been studied for years. You start going to the gym and suddenly your algorithm is filled with elite physiques, showcasing their crazy skills that you have years still to conquer. You start creating videos and suddenly views and analytics are deciding whether something is good or something is bad, whether it's successful or not. It's like everything slowly gets connected to validation. Even hobbies now sometimes feel like resumes. People ask, can this make money? Can I become good at it? Is this productive? Is this worth my time? And I think this is kind of sad, because some of the best experience in life are things that are completely useless. Things you do simply because they are enjoyable. Like spending the night irrationally with your friend, talking, looking at the stars. There is no way to make money. Maybe this friend in a year is not even your friend anymore. But still, this is one of your best experiences that you can make. I think another reason because this happens is because people became uncomfortable with being beginners, including me. Being bad at something today feels almost embarrassing, especially online, because the internet exposes you to people at the absolute highest level constantly. So instead of experiencing normal growth naturally, we compare our beginning to someone else's peak. And because of that, many people quit early. Not because they dislike something, but because they dislike the feeling of being bad at it. Which is strange, because being bad at something is literally the first step towards becoming good at something. You aren't born perfect. You have to get better every single time you do something. But modern culture makes progress feel too visible, too measurable, too public. Sometimes I think we lost the ability to privately enjoy improvement. Everything feels evaluated on. You get criticized for every mistake you make, even as a beginner, where you just don't know better. But of course there are the guides that could have shown you. But still there was no room for you to learn and to really memorize what is really going on. The problem with constantly being competitive isn't just stress. It changes your relationship with life itself. Because when everything becomes performance-based, relaxing becomes difficult. You feel guilty resting, you feel guilty wasting time, you feel guilty not improving. And all of this adds to your mental workload, so you just stop starting. You stop being a beginner because you don't start anything. So you can't improve from the beginning even. People watch shows at 2x speed, listen to summaries, instead of reading, skip slow parts in games, consume content while consuming other content, everything's sped up. And eventually you realize you are technically doing more but enjoying less of it. I don't think competition itself is bad. Trying to improve is good, wanting to become skilled at something is good, discipline is good. But I think people need spaces in life that aren't optimized. Things that exist outside of performance, outside of metrics, outside of comparison. Because not every hobby needs to become an income. Not every game needs to become ranked. Not every skill needs to become content. Sometimes something should just exist because you enjoy it. That is why I decided to personally stay more away from perfection and guides. Which is, funny enough, something I actually often think of about creating guides for games I play, but I think of it more like showcasing my way, not the perfect way. I don't want to show the meta because honestly I don't even know the meta. Especially in games that are constantly updated, they change. It's just my way that I want to share. And that is not bad, even though it feels contradicting. It's just a part of being split between who I am now and who I want to become. And it might sound contradictory, but I don't think it is. I think it's just what it looks like when you're somewhere between who you are now and who you are trying to become. And I think most people are in the same place. We know who we want to become, but not exactly how to get there. So we naturally look for others for guidance. But sometimes we forget that they lived their life, not ours. And even if we take inspiration from it, your life is still yours to figure out.